Hi guys, my name's Craig, welcome to Small Farmer Life. Now today I want to answer one of the questions that I get asked most through my blog and my social media accounts, and that is, can you site a static caravan on your land, your farmland, your house, or whatever land you may have? Now when it comes to your home, a static caravan, you can legally site a static caravan in the curtilage of your garden and people can live in it, no problem. You don't need planning permission to do that. The only thing is the person who's living in there has to take 1 meal inside of the house, which is just a stupid rule. But yes, it's totally legal to have a static caravan in the curtilage of your own land, of your house or your garden. But when it comes to land and farmland, there's different rules that apply. Now, people always ask me, how did I get planning to put a static caravan on my land and legally do it? Well, I didn't get planning because you don't need to have planning to put a static caravan on your land. Now, there's reasons why you can put a caravan on your land or your farmland legally and not be told to move on. Now, I'm going to tell you a few things in here, and you might want to watch the full video because you might realise and you might understand some of the things that you should do and you shouldn't do. Now, first of all, people say on these forums, and I've read lots of them, you should ask your local council. Well, I'm telling you now, if you ask a councillor, can you site a static caravan on your land or your farmland, they will definitely say no. They'll just say put in for a planning application which will cost you money and you don't need to do that. Me personally, I just put my caravan on my land and didn't ask for planning permission whatsoever. I had one on here for about 5 years and then I moved a newer version on because the older version was knackered. Now a lot of other people say, why do you need a static caravan instead of a touring caravan? Well, there's a couple of reasons why you might want a static instead of a touring caravan. Now, a static caravan, especially if you're going to put it on a farm, is a lot larger than a touring caravan, so it can accommodate more people, especially if you're having workers on the land. Now, a touring caravan can cost a fortune, where a static caravan, after 15 years of being on a caravan site, holiday site, or a residential caravan site, has to be moved off. So after 15 years they become cheap and redundant, so you can pick one up for around about £1,000 delivered to you wherever you are. And most areas have one, so most counties will have distribution of old static caravans that you could actually purchase one from. And a lot of these people think that just because you put a caravan on your land that you're some sort of traveller and that you're going to move into it and live on it. Now, if you are going to try and live in the caravan, then you do need planning permission for it. But there's ways to get around that. So like I say, watch the full video. Now, the point I'm trying to make is, you don't need planning permission to put a caravan on your land, a static caravan at that. And people say that a static caravan is different from a touring caravan. Well, if you read up on the laws, they are both the same thing. They're both removable. You can move them anywhere you want. Just that one gets moved a lot more and a static stays in situ a lot more than a touring. But when you come to the greener side of things, pulling a touring caravan around the country isn't very green, is it, when you're pulling a couple of ton, and a static caravan just stays sighted. Now, it's not just the fact that statics can be purchased cheaply. It's because if you want to have a farm up and running, which is the best way to put your caravan on, if you've already got your farm started, that is a really easy way to get it on. Now, if someone reports you, which they might do, and you more likely will do, and this is another reason why you should think about where you're going to site that caravan, because if you site it right next to a road, nobody wants to see loads of static caravans stuck all over the countryside, anywhere people want to put them. So you need to choose a place on your land that's away from roads and certainly away from your neighbour's boundary, because if you don't, your neighbour does not want to look out on a big static caravan, maybe an older version, and spoil their view. So you want to pick an area of your land that is unobtrusive to your neighbours. And if you do that, then if the council do come, there's a way you can get around it. Because if you are going to employ anybody on your farm, or even yourself, because you're going to work on your farm, in the UK there's a thing called health and safety in the workplace. Now a caravan provides all of that, because you've got to provide for workers somewhere dry to get out the rain, somewhere to use the toilet, somewhere to cook hot food, somewhere basically to wash off. There's lots of things you can do in a static caravan than you can't do if you didn't have one, because you'd have to go all the way home when you might just fall over in the mud and then just want to shower, or you might just want to get out the rain and have a quick warm meal in the winter times, let's say. So that's the reason how I got my static to stay on my land. I didn't need planning for it, and it's staying there. Now, people say you can stay in it for 28 days a year. Yes, that's consistent. But if you've got animals that are lambing, or goats that are having kids, should I say, then you can stay there on them nights any time that your animals are giving birth or they need your attention. You are allowed to stay on that land in that caravan, but you're not allowed to live in it. Now, there is other ways to get round living in your caravan, and I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to say this. If you have a house and then you move into a caravan, you will get thrown out of it straight away. But if you don't have a house and you move into that caravan straight away, then the council will come and serve you with an enforcement notice. But if you've got an up and running farm that's turning a profit, you will get the right to stay in that caravan for 3 years to 5 years, and all you've got to do is make 1 year's income of the national average, £26,000, and then you'll be permitted to build a house on the land. So you've got to stay in the caravan first. But let's just say you move straight into the caravan and you didn't have your farm up and running. Well, you need to start getting on your farm up and running, because in the history of enforcement notices that I know of and have read up on in the law, there's only 3 cases in which the council or local authorities have evicted people from a caravan off the land. And one of them, don't know if you remember it, but it was an old guy, and he shot the councillor dead, and he ended up in prison. But there's only 3 cases that I know of where they've actually evicted him, because if you think about it, they don't want the bad press of evicting you from your home, and it's a lot easier to stop you from moving on the land into a caravan than it is from getting you off the land, out of the caravan. Now, as long as you're proper farmer and not just messing around trying to live on the land with a couple of sheep, you need to be a true farmer, and you want to start a business, because the more plan you've got in action to start that farm, and how you can prove to them that you want to be a farmer, the better chance you've got to stay in that caravan. If you can't do that, then they might serve you with an enforcement notice, but this could take years. And I mean years. So let's just say you can't afford the rent on your house at the moment. If you move into one of these static caravans, you could be on there for 3 years, 4 years, and then people will say, yeah, but it'll cost you a fortune. Planning consultants and things like that. I have never used a planning consultant. I can point to a guy less than half a mile over that way who started a dog trimming company, or whatever you call them, where they cut dogs fair and look after them. And he's got the right to live on his land for 5 years in a big caravan, and the land is less than an acre. He's doing really well, and I'll guarantee he's going to get a house on it, and that house is going to be worth a fortune, because it's on a lovely road, that one of the best roads in our town, let's put it that way. And he done it from day one. He moved straight on there. He went to the committee, because obviously a lot of people objected, and he put his case forward, and he was granted the 5 years to live on that land. So you can live on the land straight away in a static caravan. You don't need planning permission to put the caravan on the land. You need planning permission to live in a caravan if you're living on the land. But if you've got a means-tested business plan and you've got a good plan of action of how you're going to run that farm, then you will get the chance to live in that caravan. And like I said, I've read in loads of forums that you can't do it and all this sort of thing. Now, if you're going to buy a caravan, think of what colour it's going to be. Like pick green or beige, they seem to fit in with the countryside better. Try and place it near large trees and just out of the way. You know, that's what you need to think about. And like I say, you can move in it straight away. You will have a little fight with the council and the local authorities, but no different to anyone else. It's just a basic planning application and the same fees as everybody else. But if you're looking to truly be a farmer and you've got a good business plan in place, then you will get the right to live on that land. And I'm telling you now, consultants who will probably hate me for watching this video, if they're watching this video, you don't have to pay £5,000 because that's what I got charged. Well, I never got charged. They asked me, they said it's a 50-50 chance if I could get the right to develop my land for a house, and they wanted £5,000 to do one planning application and one committee meeting. £5,000. I did it all myself. It cost me all in all about £779, and I built 3 buildings on my land anywhere. So guys, yes, you can legally site a caravan on your small farm, in your back garden of your home, or on a piece of land that you intend to farm. And there's a few things, like I say, you need to go through to do it. And if you've got any questions, leave them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. And if you like the video, hit the like button. And if you want to be notified of more upcoming farmer videos, we've got loads more to do. Hit the bell button. If you want to subscribe. It's your choice. And until next time, guys, my name's Craig. You're watching The Small Farmer Live. Take care of yourself, and most of all, take care of your family in these hard times that we're going through. Bye for now.